would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
The warnings were there, but nobody believed, or at least, nobody wanted to believe it would happen. Surely enough, it did. It was devastating. An entire city was wiped off the face of the planet in a matter of seconds, leaving in its place nothing but a graveyard of rubble and debris. The nation wept over the unbearable loss of life that day, but everyone's grief quickly turned to anger, fury. We wanted revenge, and we would do anything to get it. It was a spectacle, witnessing an entirely free nation vote itself out of democracy and into thinly veiled totalitarianism. Under the justification that the national crisis needed quick and decisive action, our president was granted unrivaled power. He gave us the war we wanted, a war in which hundreds of thousands died, a war against a nation who we weren't even sure was responsible for the attack, a war which was ultimately unsuccessful. The whole world turned against us after that, and fear immediately overcame our anger. We begged the government to do anything necessary to keep us safe from a second attack. And so it did. No longer bound by a term limit, our president slowly began to strip our civil rights away, right down to our very individuality. We cheered as our humanity was gradually taken from us. When global unrest had grown tenser than ever before, it was announced that the term terrorism would be broadened to mean any action or object that could possibly cause harm to an American citizen. How could we not have seen it before? Our very way of life, the biggest threat of all. And so, this is what life is now reduced to. Sitting alone in a sterile white room, far away from any sort of harm. And as we all sit here secluded from one another, forgetting the outside world, forgetting a life worth living, forgetting liberty and freedom, we can all take comfort in one thought. At least we're safe.
Your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Away out your love, it's a melody played on a penny arcade. It's the Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believe.